This is Crick Buzz Chatto with Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan ahead of the second test match between England and Pakistan. We're down at the Ageas Bowl. Michael Vaughan, you'll be at the Ageas Bowl. A fantastic finish on Saturday with England coming out trumps by 3 wickets. But there's been a big change to the England squad since then. They've won the first test unusually, but they won't have their vice-captain and match winner, Ben Stokes, with them for the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's a big blow for England. I mean, he's not... had a test match at Old Trafford like we generally expect from Ben Stokes. He didn't get a great deal of runs, but he got those 2 key wickets in Pakistan's second innings. But we're clearly wishing well. He has to go and see his father. Fingers crossed for all the Stokes family. But England will miss him. They'll miss his presence in the dressing room. When you win a game like England won, it's generally because you've got 2 or 3 in that room, that team that just inspire by just the way that they talk. And I'm sure Ben Stokes on that last day, even though he didn't get so many runs, I'm sure all the talk around his mindset would have been, we can still win this game. And you need those players in your team, even when they don't get the hundreds, get the 50s, get the fifers. Having that kind of belief in the dressing room is always important. So England are going to miss him absolutely hugely.
Of course, Stokes has batted number 4 in the last 2 test matches, not notionally as a bowler because his body's not been quite where it was earlier on in the West Indies series. So that does pose an interesting selection question for England. How do you think they'll manage that at the top order?
I think they'll bring Zach Crawley into bat 3. Joe Root, the skipper, will go back to his preferred spot at 4. Ollie Pope, I would think, will stay at number 5. Butler at 6. Wokes, don't think he'll shift from number 7 with the way that he played in Manchester. And then it'll all be about the bowling department. Will they keep with the off spinner? Will they potentially go to Jack Leach? But Jack Leach has played no cricket, so I would think that Dom Bess has to continue playing in the last 2 test matches purely because of that reason. And it's giving him experience. He's working on a few things, and I like to see young players get a good run in the side. So I don't think I'll be changing too much there at this stage. It'll be just which combinations of the 4 seamers. I'm sure Stuart Broad will play. I'm sure Chris Wokes will play. And then will it be Jofra Archer? Will it be Mark Wood? One of those 2 in terms of the pace will play. I'm sure they'll rest Jimmy Anderson. I'm pretty sure Jimmy will miss out this week, and it'll either be Sam Curran. That'd be my preferred choice. He just never loses in the UK. Sam Curran, when he plays Test match cricket. Ollie Robinson was added to the squad. I like the look of him, but I personally go Sam Curran for Jimmy Anderson, and just depending on Jofra Archer's body, it could be Mark Wood for Jofra Archer.
Yeah, interesting discussion around James Anderson between test matches. He spoke to us a couple of days ago. He wants the captain and coach to retain faith in him this week. That's how he framed it up. But also, he doesn't want people to write him off. So if he were to be left out this week, that doesn't mean the end of his career, certainly as far as he's concerned. Is that how you're approaching this as well?
I listened to his press conference on Monday. He was almost coming back at a bit of noise that, you're going to get that. He's 38 years of age. He's not any younger. He's coming towards the end of his career, whether he wants to admit it or not. He's not going to play until he's 45. So he is into his last year or 2 of playing cricket. So he's got to understand that, for every bad game that he has, and it wasn't the bad game. I didn't think he bowled that badly. I just thought in the field a couple of times he looked 38. That drop catch and that miss at mid-off. His standards have been so high for so long that when you see Jimmy Anderson have a little bit of a time in the field where he doesn't quite look as agile as in the past, of course the kind of noise is going to be around. Is it time for Jimmy to move on? Is it time for the team to move on? I don't think they're at that stage yet. I think over the next year or so, Jimmy will be used sparingly. But there's this group of bowlers now that England have got in and around the team that, they all need opportunities. And for England to really grow into this high-class test match team that they're trying to become. Do I see Jimmy playing a part in the next year? Yes, but not in every game. Do I see him playing a part in the next 2-3 years? I don't think so. I don't think he'll be playing in 2 years' time. So England are doing the right thing. They've got to look to this next generation. They've got to try and find the next kind of combination. Chris Wokes has got a few years left in him. You'd think that he's going to be the ready-made replacement to take that new ball once Jimmy moves to one side. And then you've got the Robinsons, you've got the Overton brothers, you've got Ollie Stone coming through for the pace department, you've got Sam Curran, you've got Ollie Robinson. There's enough in the kind of seam ranks in English cricket for the team and the management and the selectors to kind of manoeuvre over the next year or 2 to make sure that, the worst thing that can happen for English cricket is all of a sudden Broad and Anderson retire at once and they've not given any experience to any players. That is too big a hole to fill. So what England are doing is the right thing. They're just managing the situation cleverly. And also respectfully with those players. they're still the best two. If you were picking the best two every week, you're still going to have Anderson and Broad, but England have to manage the situation for when they disappear. And it sounds like they want to play for a while, which is great, but they're not going to play in every game.
As far as Pakistan are concerned, of course, they should have won at Old Trafford, so they'll need to draw on a fair bit of resilience to bounce back in this series from here. What we saw at Manchester was actually the leg spinner, Yasir Shah, doing most of the work for them with the ball as opposed to the seamers. As good as the seamers were, it was certainly Yasir on the final day. And the test match at the Ageas Bowl perhaps 2 years ago might be a more like-for-like situation against India in 2018, middle of August, hot summer. It's been very hot the last couple of weeks, and we know that pitch can turn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why Pakistan aren't out of the series. I just wonder how much of a psychological effect that last day in particular in Manchester will have on the young team. They're a very young, vibrant, growing team. Particularly the captain, Azhar Ali, he didn't have a good afternoon. He let the game spread. And you mentioned Yasir Shah. If you're the spin bowling coach of Pakistan, Mushtaq Ahmed, surely you sit him in a room and say, you've got to be more aggressive with your field settings. You can't just spread the field. It's too easy. He's too good a bowler for Jos Buttler never to have to hit the ball over the top. Chris Woakes never to have to go aerial over his head when you think he was spinning it about this much on a regular basis. So I'd be advising him to be a bit more brave with his field settings. Set a field for your best ball, not for your bad balls. That's irrelevant. If you bowl a bad ball, you deserve to go to the boundary. Try and get England playing big shots. I'm sure Pakistan can certainly come back in the series. I think it'll take them to bat first. I think you have to bat first. Whatever the situation, you bat, get runs on the board. Pakistan played a 75% game in Manchester. 75% of it was absolutely high class. It's just that 25%, which it's always a hard kind of percentage to get over the line with a young team with this relatively inexperienced captain. And that's what they've got to try and do again this week. Get runs on the board, throw the ball to the seamers, try and bat better in the second innings. If you get into that kind of powerful position once again, don't switch off. I thought they switched off with the bat in that second innings of almost that the game was won. You never ever switch off in test match cricket, so that's a lesson that Pakistan can learn.
It's been a brilliant test summer so far in England. The 5th test in 6 weeks, of course, the second of this series. Follow it throughout from Thursday on the Crick Buzz live blog, and then at Stumps each night, Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan on Crick Buzz Chatter.